Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another 3D Hangout. You got myself, Noah Ruiz. I'm a designer here at Adafruit, and joining me every week is my buddy Pedro.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Pedro Ruiz, creative tech here at Adafruit, and every week we come to share 3D printed projects featuring electronics from Adafruit.
That's right. This is a show where we combine 3D printing, DIY electronics. We smash them together to make inspirational projects to inspire you, folks at home or at office or wherever you may be.
That's right. We design custom projects featuring custom designed circuitry.
It's all customly customs. Let's start off the show with what we're doing today.
That's right. Every week we have a lovely assortment of segments, starting off with...
What are you prototyping?
Prototyping. It's when we take a look at what we're working on for a future episode.
That's right. Then we'll jump into layer by layer.
Layer by layer is when we take a look at some of the CAD techniques that goes into your favorite projects.
And then we'll do a shop talk.
Shop talk is when we take a look at some of the news going on, some new products.
We'll do Q&A.
Every week we take a bunch of your questions and answer them.
That's right. And then we'll end off the show with Community Makes.
Community Makes is when we take a look at, highlight a very awesome maker like Minity.
With the highlighter. Okay, so let's start with a coupon code. That's right, folks. You can save some monies.
That's right. Use discount code PRINTQA to get 10% off your order.
Yep, and it's PRINTQA because today's weekly project is a 3D printing Q&A.
That's right. Take a look at the project video to find out what was our first 3D print.
Yeah, we'll take a look at Shop Talk as well. We got some free deals going for you folks. If you spend $100 or more, you get a free half-size permanent proto board. For $150 or more, you get a free trinket. And if you buy something that's over $200, like let's say a printer or some filaments, you get free shipping.
That's right. Spend $250 and you get all of that plus a 5-volt Pro trinket, so you can immediately start 3D printing something if you get a printer.
That's right, folks. It is November, and that means holiday.
That's right.
Holidays.
If you want to make sure you get your gifts in on time before Christmas, you have to order now. Before December 11th, I believe, to
That's
get
right.
it.
Mark your calendars. Well, December 11th will be the one of the last days that you'll be able to get stuff.
That's right. Adabot himself will deliver it.
Yes, he is. Or her. She is. Sorry. He, she. Okay, so let's jump right into it. The prototyping segment. This is where we start the show. Internal news. What are we working on? You got an overhead right here. Here we go.
All right. So last week, Tony is starting a new project series on Raspberry Pi projects.
That's right.
This week, I think he's going to be releasing one on doing processing on the Pi. So he mentioned to us that looking around Thingiverse, there wasn't actually a very good model that just attaches to a regular tripod. Everything that's out there right now attaches to like a printer or something like that.
Everything's very custom, yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of the models like depend on these little pins that can easily break off.
A little fancy. Okay.
Yeah,
We've tried it out. We printed it out on the Ember and FDM, and yeah, they're a little fragile. So you designed something a little bit more sturdier. What do we got here?
Yeah, so we got a little enclosure for the Raspberry Pi camera. So this should fit the regular one. I don't know about the no IR one, but this one works pretty good. It's held together with 256 screws and an M3 down here at the bottom. Coolest thing about this is you can have your interchangeable lenses on there.
Okay,
so you can have something like a wide angle, a telescope, or like a macro lens attached on there. It has a cool little hinge here, so it can attach to the 3/8 with a 1/4-20 that allows it to connect to the little swivel ball head that we have in the shop.
Yeah,
and then the way you modeled this very awesome little tripod.
Yeah, sure. So it's a standard sort of tripod thing. Little, 4-piece design. It's using the D-ring to attach to that swivel thing, and it's using 440 screws and some hex nuts to make it so that it's nice and tight. Yeah. Also used Ninja Flex for the feet. We got screws at the bottom of there, and it's just a simple, generic. You can buy these for like $10, but why not print your own? So
yeah, it's like a couple cents in parts.
Yeah, sure, a couple cents in materials, so save you some monies, and you can customize the design. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Very cool way to add a little desktop, camera.
Yep.
Very cool.
I definitely would check out picking up these parts here. We talked in depth about them last week. If you haven't seen last week's show, go ahead and check that out.
You're definitely gonna want to get a bigger, longer Pi camera cable that we have in the shop.
We'll talk about more of those on the shop talk.
Yep,
huh?
Yep, we will.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and jump into this week's layer by layer to see how we both made.
Yeah, we took some parts. So here we go. Here is in CAD, and we designed these parts, of course, in Fusion 360 from Autodesk. So it is a 3-piece design. So you can actually take this part. Let's say you wanted to modify it, and you could add something like IR LEDs or a light ring, and just take sort of the measurements and the standoffs that are set up for you as a component. So we have the not just the standoffs, but we have, of course, the little opening for the camera lens itself. The second part attaches to it with 440 machine screws.
I've seen
so
other
it's got
256s.
Oh,
that
256s?
fits, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because the little board for the camera is so teeny tiny.
In the bottom there, you have a little clearance for the actual ribbon cable to pass through, and you have this sort of little, I don't know, piece here where we have a little hole there so that you can screw in there. And there's just enough clearance to fit your screwdriver in there, to make it screw into that second part. The second part has a counter bore. That's for the 3/8 to 1/4 20 screw that we have, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it's got a little interesting shape. It's like
yeah,
a
we're just
hex
using the
shape.
polygon tool there so you have
Okay.
something to grip onto when you're screwing it onto the tripod head.
And a couple fillets too to make it look nice. So yeah, you can reuse those measurements if you want to reuse it in another project.
Mhm.
Let's say if you want to bake it into the your enclosure, if you have you've got all-in-one enclosure. That's pretty much it. Really simple 3-part design there. The second part is the tripod. Let's take a look at that in a second. Or just take a look how pretty it is. Okay, so yeah, so here's the second part. It is composed of a lot of circles and a lot of cuts. They're all available there on the side. But pretty much that's the side where you print it on. It doesn't need any supports. None of these actually need any support material, which is nice. At the bottom of it, you have a contour bore. A bore thing. Counter bore, thank you. That's where the D-ring fits into. It's got enough room in there, and the D-rings have those nice little thumb things so you can screw it in. It's got slots onto each of these little 3 nubs. That's where you can insert the foot, or little feet. I only have one design because you can just print the same foot 3 different times. It has a recessed sort of bore, counter bore for hex and nut so that it is flush with the surface. And there's another counter bore for the actual screw head, so that is flush. And it just has a hole for a number 440 screw, 1/2 inch screw. Sorry, we're using inch imperial.
We're mixing
We're mixing
M3.
stuff, but bear with us, please.
It all has to do with the board.
Yeah, the
circuit
board. So don't blame us, blame the board manufacturers. So anyway, at the bottom of the feet, I made a projection sketch and created this little foot here that you can print in NinjaFlex or another TPE type material that's rubbery. And I have a counter bore for another number 440 screw. This one's a 3/8 length, so a little bit shorter there. So, you can modify it if you want. That's pretty much it. Really, really simple. Whipped it up in, I don't know, like half an hour or so, just to sort of get the project out. Whatever. It adds to it. We could like say go buy a $10 tripod, but we like designing it in 3D printing because you can. So there you go. Okay, so those parts will be available in the future. It's a future project, like we were saying. So be sure to check those out in the weeks. We'll let you guys know when they're ready.
Yep.
Okay, that's layer by layer. That's how we put it together. If you want to pick up the camera, the Raspberry Pi Cam, you can do so and get 10% off. Right?
That's right. Raspberry Pi Cam, the filament for that, all of the ribbon cables.
Yeah, ribbon cables, filaments, printers.
Camera parts.
Raspberry
everything.
Pi. Of course, you're going to need a Raspberry Pi for the Raspberry Pi Cam. So
Right.
why not get 10% off? Okay. All right. That's going to be it for layer by layer. Let's jump into shop talk. We're running through the show pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
All right. We got a cool tip for you from Pedro. Pedro, we got a little camera stuff. If you folks are recording some screens and stuff, here's a tip for you.
Yeah, so I don't think we've ever talked about this. We use this on every recording when we have to shoot something like a display or screen or even the computer screens.
Yeah,
Using
all
a
screens.
polarizer to sort of normalize the brightness of your entire shot. And as you can see
Whoa,
here,
look at that. Adjustable.
sometimes, a lot of videos you always see the screen is always the brightest thing that you're
Right,
recording.
and everything else gets dark, so it's like you get this sort of terrible contrast.
Yeah, you just have to like bump up your like shutter speed to like 80 or like lower down your ISO or something like that, and everything is like completely dark except for your screen. So the trick here is to use a polarizer to normalize all of that. And not only just the screens, you can use these outside for like, say if you're shooting like any bodies of water or any like reflections, like especially on like the table here. Every time that we have to shoot something on there, there's always reflections bouncing off lights or anything like that. So with the polarizer, you're able to completely kill all those shadows. Things for like your glasses and things like that.
That's
You're
right,
able
yeah.
to completely eliminate that.
Glare Eliminator works really good with contrasting screens. Yeah, and there are these type that they're using on your 5D are a bit more expensive, but there are some available for like even these lenses, I think, right, for your cell phone as well.
Yep, the little manufacturers that make all of the like wide angle, the telephonic ones. Also
Telephonic?
have
Telephoto?
also have like little polarizer ones that have the little mechanism to like turn it as well.
Okay.
So you can even get those for your cell phone.
So this is a polarizer, right? I've heard of the word ND fader.
Yeah. So the ND fader is it's like a sunglass for your lens.
Sunglasses.
Yeah. So
Okay.
when you want to use those is if you want to keep like your shutter speed down to like 40 or 50.
Okay.
Without having to like bump up your shutter speed like to 80 or something like that when you're shooting outside in a bright sunny day. So it's not going to make everything look like super like stuttery,
Yeah. So
high frame rate.
Okay. So it's a good.
So those two different things.
Okay, cool. So in this case, if you want to record your screens, you can adjust it by getting yourself a polarizer.
Exactly. Yeah, and they come in different price ranges. You were just using like a pretty expensive
Hoya.
Hoya one that has like
it's a
all
Japanese
these.
company. Yeah.
Yeah, it has all like these like pretty coatings and
Oh, it's got
like
special
waterproof and all that stuff. So we used to do like a lot of filming on the
photography,
beach.
yeah. Okay.
So really handy for that. But
Yeah.
definitely pick one out. I think Tiffin has some pretty cheap ones.
Okay, cool. Well, that's our quick little photography tip for you folks. If you're filming screens and stuff, definitely pick up a polarizer for your
Definitely
lens.
a must.
Okay. Well, let's jump into the next thing, folks. Over the weekend, we were shooting our new project. We like to shoot projects in advance, and some uncertainty things happen. Let's just roll the footage and see what happens. There's a printer bot, and whoa! Oh my
You posted
God!
this
what
on
happened?
your Instagram
I
with
sure
some
did.
captions on what happened. But
Yeah.
more complete story is that as we're doing our last hero slide-in shot, thankfully it was the last shot that we had to get.
Yeah. Yeah. So what happened here is that the
printer bot
y-axis.
sort of as it's oscillating, moving back and forth, doing a print.
Yeah.
There's like a curve on the bottom of the printer bot, and it moves it, especially
Ever so
on
slightly. A smooth surface like a
smooth
table.
with it, yeah.
Okay, so to avoid this, it's a simple fix, folks. Number one, don't put it on the edge. Number two, get some grippy feet.
Actually, it wasn't on the edge. It pushed itself.
It pushed
to
itself
the
to
edge
the
and
edge.
over the edge.
Over the edge.
So definitely want to print out some NinjaFlex grippy feet to make sure that your printer doesn't fall
Right?
over.
Or tape or something, put it on some sort of grippy
The
surface.
amazing thing is that it kept right on printing.
This thing is built strong and built to last. It's completely made out of metal, and it's amazing that nothing got bent. Everything was fine. The Raspberry Pi survived. Of course, it is a glass screen, so a little bit of glass chipped away, but that's nothing too bad. All the cables and all the components still work. The camera still works. The tripod, this very same tripod, has seen better days, but it's still working really well.
Everything survived except the glass on the 7-inch touchscreen.
That's right. Man, it just took everything else. And you see that little white piece?
The funny part, yeah, is the little dongle here, the
It
Raspberry
broke
Pi
before it
dongle.
hit the floor.
It didn't even hit the floor, and this little piece just went right off.
Oh,
like
it comes
that.
right off. Okay. Well, I mean, you can pop it
that's
right back
funny,
on, so
yeah.
that's funny.
But
No glue.
definitely print yourself out some NinjaFlex feet for the printer bot Simple, which
Yeah.
of course you can get in the shop.
Okay.
Get 10% off. Use discount code.
That's right.
Print QA.
Print QA. Man, this was. Yeah, check out the. I don't know, the Instagram if you want. Okay.
Keep playing that over and over.
It's looping. Yeah, so let's.
Yeah, of course, like the tile didn't break. Nothing broke except the glass on the
Yep.
screen.
So if you're using a Raspberry Pi camera, check this out, folks. We have.
So,
Some
yeah, so Lamar
cables.
got some custom-made
Ribbon cables?
for the Pi camera.
Yeah, let's take a
and
look
we
at
have
some
a
different
variety
sizes.
of different sizes too. So we got like 2mm ones, we got like 24-inch ones, we got like even shorter ones. So if you want to have the Pi mounted to somewhere else and run the camera up to like different positions.
Where's the meter one? I want to show how long it is.
Here's the meter one, yeah.
Yeah. So we have actually a 2-meter long one, which is
Yeah.
double the size of this, I think. And you can see here how long it is. It's very, very long. So if you're doing something where you're doing like a security camera or something, check out getting one of these. Pick them up. You can get 10% off, like we were saying. But yeah.
We also have
these
like a
things are
pack that
totally
has like a
handy.
variety of sizes in there if you're not sure how long
Oh,
you
that's
need.
that's a really good one too. Get the variety pack if you're doing something closer range.
And Tony did a project last week for doing the ITO.
Yeah,
Motion detecting.
cloud cam using Adafruit IO.
Yep.
Be
so
sure to check that
definitely
out. I'm
check
sure you
that
did,
out.
but check it out if you haven't. Okay, so that's some product stuff. Highlight product this week. Yeah. Okay. Some other stuff pertaining to the Shop Talk. We were actually on a guest stars on Eric's live show, folks. If you haven't heard of Eric Williams, please check him out. Let's take a look here at his YouTube channel. Let me load that.
Yeah, so a lot of like the news going around that like there's like never quarters. Everybody's heard of like cord cutters, people that never or that are cutting their cable subscription, and there's like
Yeah.
a whole new generation of people that have never going to get cable. There's always like a ton of really cool live tech shows going on. Eric Williams is just one of those.
There we go.
He has very awesome
Thank you.
content.
Yep.
Live.
How to Arduino, Raspberry Pi, and 3D printing. And he also does a couple of video things as well. So
Very cool projects
video
he's working
reviews.
on.
Yeah, so a lot of cool projects. One of his more recent project is the gas sensor for emergency workers. He actually submitted it in for Hackaday Prize.
And he actually
So-
came on the show and showed this off.
That's right. He's been on the show quite a few times, so be sure to check him out and support him. And it happens every Monday. So we were actually on the show. We talked a little bit about our background, how we got involved with Adafruit, and it was just a lot of fun. You know, it's a really good it's a fun time. You know, there's a lot of people in the chat room, and it's really fun to get live chat back and forth. So if you're looking for more live content on a Monday, be sure to check out Eric Williams. And shout out to you, Cher. Thank you for having us on.
Yeah,
It
I
was
think he
really
has
fun.
one on Friday, and he also has some impromptu ones. He had one on Saturday. We just
That's
came
right.
on. Everyone just hung out, and
It's fun time. All right, another thing. This week's project, 3D printing Q&A on YouTube, was sort of
Was inspired.
Inspired,
by-
yes, thank you. Angus from Maker Muse's YouTube channel. He shouted us out and tagged us in the video and said, "Hey, I'd like to hear you guys." So basically, it's like 6 questions on 3D printing, and it's just a nice, fun Q&A. So Angus from Maker Muse, of course, does a lot of 3D printing, gaming, and a lot of tinkering. He's got some Mesh Mixer tutorials too, so if you're looking into
A lot
some
of
CAD
really good
stuff.
ones, yeah.
Very fun stuff. A lot of tinkering going on. So shout out to you, Angus. Be sure to check out his YouTube channel. I will have Eric's and Angus's YouTube channel linked below. So be sure to check them out. Okay. So that's gonna be it for the shop talk, I think. Am I right? Yeah.
Looking down here.
Yeah, I
that's
think
all the
so.
content
I
we
think
got.
the next thing is the Q&A. There's a lot of good stuff in the Q&A this week, folks. So
Remember that you can ask a question on any of the videos, and we will gather them up and answer them on a future episode.
that's right. Let's see here. This one. I have to adjust this here, which is fine. I've done this plenty of times, so. Yep. Yep. Maybe I'll cut this out, maybe.
That's fine.
Yeah. There we go. Select window. Oh, you know what? There's a little refresh button. Refresh. Hopefully it doesn't crash. Yep. Preview. Hit OK. And we'll start off with this question here. There we go. Thankfully it didn't break. Yay. Okay, let me queue up the questions all the way down. Starting off with question number 1 from Golfons. Could you 3D print a custom inductor core with the iron containing protopasta filament?
Yeah, so we actually saw a YouTube video of someone who had actually already tried this. Very cool video you guys should check out. We'll link it in the description. Here's a quick little preview of that.
Yep.
He 3D printed a stepper motor.
Yep. So ProtoG, YouTube channel ProtoG has a really good video on 3D printing a stepper motor, which is a really good insight on how they actually work. And then Laser Saber YouTube channel made a power transformer where he basically made like a little ring, a little torus that's using magnetic filament, wrapped some copper coil around it, and he was able to power a light bulb. That's
So
pretty awesome.
Freaking awesome.
Yeah, so be sure to check that out. So yeah, it's definitely possible. It has enough magnetic fields to generate some powers. So yeah, definitely check that out. I'll have it linked for you in the show notes. Okay, thanks for the question, Golf Songs.
Next up.
Next up, this is from Hani Aldami, I believe. I hope I didn't butcher your name. I have several project ideas that I would like to work on. However, I'm an IT and my designing skills are not at this level, not currently at least. Do you know where I could get some help from a trusted sources who would not steal these ideas and make them into your own? Thanks.
Yeah, so there's a very funny video that recently came up on YouTube. It was
sure.
about everybody has ideas like, I don't want to say it, but it's a little profane, but yeah, very good very good saying though. And the main idea is nobody's going to steal your idea. Everybody's already working on their own idea. Nobody's going to drop what they're working on to work on your idea.
That's right.
And that's definitely the wrong mentality to have, especially around open source. in 3D printing projects like that.
Yeah, I think if you go to your local makerspace, you'll be in trusted hands. A lot of folks will sort of tell you if it's a good idea or not, and if it's even worth building, or if they can even build it. So definitely start collaborating with people. Don't be afraid to share your projects. Yeah, I don't think people will go out and steal your ideas. And that's pretty much the takeaway, I think. Yep, everybody has an idea. Everybody certainly has an app idea. It's a lot harder to build a physical product.
It's actually the execution where it gets you, as you've seen.
Okay, well, there you go, honey. Next up, this one's from Adrian Quesada. Hello, guys. How do you storage your filaments? PLA, ABS, Interflex, any advice? Thanks for sharing your projects and techniques. Really appreciated, Adrian.
Not too much help on this one. You can see right here how
we
we
have
store all of our devices, or all of our spools here, especially like in sunny, hot, humid Florida. We always keep our room or our entire house like at 75 degrees, so we've never had problems with any like humidity or moisture getting into any of the filaments.
Yep, we have some air purifiers here in the house. We have them right here next to the printers, and they have HEPA filters, right? So all the dust and stuff is collected, and it's pretty a clean environment, and it's a cool, dry environment. So we've been storing our filament down here below for several months, down to I think a year now, and we haven't had any problems
are like from
with
2012. Yeah,
haven't had any problems with moisture yet. But if you are, if you do have some
if you have
concerns,
like variables in like changing temperatures, or if you're like have to store it like in the garage or something like that, we can see that could definitely be a problem. So if you look on Thingiverse here, there are several like ideas on what to do, like to get the moisture out, like filling it up with like desiccants, or like having
silica gel packets, or just having it in an overall little container. There's a lot of project ideas here on Thingiverse, so just search for filament storage, and you'll see a lot of folks that have made their own custom little rigs to even keep the filament spools in the container and like feeding out into the printer, so that it'll always be nice and dry.
Yeah, everybody always has different room variables, so definitely check that out, see what solution works for you.
Yep, give me a second here to speed up some stuff here. Let's see if we can speed this up. It's very laggy, isn't it? Okay, well, that's fine. There he goes, it's catching up now. Okay, cool. So let's go on to the next question. Here we go. Thank you, Adrian, for that question. That was a good question. People are always wondering about filament. This one's from Riley H. Dog. Hey, man, what's up? How do you polish the magnetic iron PLA print? I use a rock tumbler, but is there any other way that works better?
Okay, so fortunately the guys over at Protopasta have a lovely little polishing starter kit you guys can check out, which features like sanding, like
it's a compound.
buffing tools,
There's a
compounds.
You said the buffing pool, sorry, and some sheets. So they have two little videos here that you can check out. The sheets are obviously good for really flat things like jewelry or little pendants and things. And instead of a rotary tool, I was interested that they were using a bench grinder, which is this really massive thing here.
Definitely speed up your polishing with that.
Yeah, but we found that the rock tumbler is the sort of most quickest way.
It just takes about like 4 times longer. So typically something like the copper fill or bronze fill takes around like 2 hours to start to get some sort of a polish, where theirs will take like 6 to 8 hours to even see anything what even resembles something that's being tumbled. Yep. So definitely check it out. And again, weird properties, that it's lighter than copper fill and bronze fill, but it's tougher.
In terms of polishing. Okay. All right. Well, there you go, Riley. Thank you for the question. There are some solutions there out there for you, some options. But yeah, we like the rock tumbler, pretty much. Okay. This is another one from Riley. Extreme 3D is actually his YouTube channel. If you haven't already, check out his YouTube channel. Hey, it's Riley. Have you guys seen the Kickstarter for the miniature Printerbot replica? I saw the video with the man who created this, and he is now has a Kickstarter for it.
Yes, so actually Dano Wall, who's the head, head fabricator.
That's right. He is the head of fabrication at the Adafruit offices. He actually interviewed Mr. James Carpino. Sorry, James, I just butchered your name. But yeah, we know about the Kickstarter, of course. He asked if it was okay to use some of the footage that we got at Maker Faire, and we said, yeah, totally. No worries. So check it out. We got the interview here. Funny story is he said that Brooke Drum from Printerbot actually came to his booth, checked out his project, and said, you know what, you should sell this. So it's pretty good. So if you haven't already, check out
He's
that
got the
interview.
blessing of Mr. Brook.
He's got the blessing, so there you go. That's really good. Thanks for the question, Riley. Next one, this one's from Paul Goodyear. Can you create a screwed thread? I've looked at others, but not very accurate. Good work, I'm new here. This is on the layer by layer tutorial. I think it's on 123D, but if not, be sure to check out Fusion 360. They actually have a built-in thread maker thing, or a thread maker feature, which is really cool. So they have, in addition to that, they have a hole maker, so you can make counter bores and tell it what kind of angle you want to make your counter bore. Holes for screws, and the threading lets you make threads for holes and threads for screws. It's mainly used for CNC milling,
yes.
but it will apply to 3D printing. We actually don't typically make threads because we found that when you're printing on the Z, you kind of get these layers.
It's not as good, yeah.
The resolution is not as good, so there you go. Check it out. I'll link this one below, but you can just search for YouTube Fusion 360.
Super handy too, since they have like a caster library in
Oh,
there
that's
with
right.
all of the threads and screws that you would need to build your project.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely check that out.
Okay, well, thank you, Paul, for the question. Next one, this one's from Nick Faro. Why is there 2 Pis? Is that an A plus and a Pi 2? This was on the 7-inch all-in-one Pi tablet.
Yeah, so
let's take a look.
When you take a look at those, it does look like there's 2 Pis in there, but no. The driver that comes with the 7-inch, which we have here, we've been showing off the whole time, actually looks like this. You can tell because of the little GPIO pins right here on the
okay,
outside.
there you go.
This is the A plus, which looks very similar. It's like the same size and
Oh, wow.
everything, but you can see
Same
all the
angles.
headers up here. And you can see a little bit of a difference, but they both have a Raspberry Pi logo on there, so yeah, it looks like there's 2 Pis in there. But no, using the Raspberry Pi 2 and the little driver board. Oh, I even mixed it up there.
Oh, thanks for confusing it. So this is the display driver for the 7-inch multi-touch display from the Pi Foundation. Does it come with it?
This comes included with the whole package, yeah.
Okay,
So yeah,
there you go.
You can see where you might have gotten confused because it looks,
it looks
it's
the
the
same,
exact
right?
same footprint as an A+.
Right. And it's got a Raspberry Pi logo on it, so okay.
So nope, it is just the driver board that comes with it.
Okay, well, cool. Thank you for clearing that up, Pedro. Very cool project. Thank you, Nick, for the question. Next up, this one's from Derpy Slimes. Is there an alternative way to cut the PermaProto board? Seems pretty dangerous with the Dremel.
Yeah, so there's like fiberglass can fly everywhere if you're not in an open area.
Yeah, it is. It does require a little bit of cleanup. You got to do it in a well-ventilated area. I would recommend doing that if you
Yeah,
plan
so
to
this
use
was
the
before
PermaProto.
we got these very cool
Yes.
boards in the shop.
Let's take a look at the boards in the shop. This is from Bake Light Universal Perf Board Plates. You get a pack of 10 of these, and check this out, folks. This is a perf board that you can cut with scissors. Check it out. Here's Becky cutting it up. Thank you, Becky, for cutting this one up for us. It is like $5
custom.
for 10. Yeah, it's a one-sided copper plate, but it's really nice because you can make
a
some
very custom design.
very custom
board.
design, of course. We also have an Adafruit PermaProto Flexi board. This one would be really easy to cut, huh?
Yeah, super thin, super flexible.
Super flexible. If you want to make some wearable stuff or stuff that wants to like be on a contour, I would definitely recommend this one. It's a little bit more expensive, $8 because it's super high quality. It's double-sided copper plate. So check that out. There's also a little video on Lamar like just flexing it. She does some flexing. So there you go.
So definitely check both of those out.
Yep, depending on your
for
price point or your project.
Easier way to cut those boards.
Yep, you can get 10% off. Don't forget about that one.
Yeah, I think probably the main reason why you might want to cut the PermaProto is because it comes free with the orders now.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, for $100
But-
or more. Yeah. Okay, but you got options. There you go, Derpy Slimes. Thank you for the question. Next one. This one's from Riley H. Dog again. Thanks for asking so many questions. It's okay. How does recycled filament or homemade filament print? I have already seen your video on the filament maker, but how does it actually print, and would you recommend it?
Yeah, so the prints are not, 100%, but definitely don't recommend it anymore. This was right before the filament just, nosedived into prices. We didn't stock it before we made that video. Now we stock a lot of filament, and as we read more into it, as people did more experiments with it, it turned out that you need like way higher ratio of how much newer filament you need compared to
Right.
the recycled stuff.
That's
I
right.
think it was like 70%. Or
I think
something
so. It was
higher.
like 70-30. Yeah, 70% virgin and then 30% recycled. So yeah, it's kind of a bummer. The personal desktop extruders, they're good, but they're not exactly perfect. You're gonna get variable filament diameters depending on where you are. It is very, very sort of process intensive. If you take a look at Hacker Geeks or Maker Geeks
They did a very
filament,
awesome,
how
like,
filament
behind
is
the
made.
scenes.
And Make did an interview with the gentleman who runs the facility. It is a lot of post processing. I mean, it goes through a lot, like miles of like
Different cooling, different
yeah,
like
water
things that stretch it
cooling,
out, like things that cool it down, different like different
coiling it
procedures.
up. It's just the filament that we got.
We were just letting it coil on the floor.
Really coil on the floor, so dust particles get everywhere. If you were to print with that, you might get a print, but eventually you would probably get a clog and just inaccurate
Because of
prints.
those little dust particles that are getting
That's
everywhere,
right.
the dirt and stuff. So not recommended. We're actually going to take down that video.
We probably should
so
take down
nobody
the video so nobody
attempts
gets
it.
the wrong idea. Yep. I would also say if you want to get socially responsible about it, just purchase recycled filament. There are some
Right.
manufacturers that are making filament. There's these guys that are doing like 100% ABS recycled from like car dashboards and stuff. So check them out. You can do a search for it and find it. But there you go, Riley. Thanks for the question and your concerns. This one is from Robert. This was actually on the learning guide for the 7-inch touch play. Thanks for the fun build. Mine is up and running. I'm wondering if there is a way to have the OS recognize the battery pack so that there would be a low battery warning. I was playing around with it a little bit too long and it kind of died unexpectedly. Thanks for any info and advice. Also thinking about adding an audio amplifier like the PAM8302 to get some sound going also, Robert.
And so there's definitely enough room on the lid part of that, so you can add standoffs to there, and it can just hang out on there. And should be room to add the speaker as well.
Yep. When it comes to a low battery indicator, the cool thing about the Power Boosts, the 500C and the 100C, is that it has
1000C.
1000C, sorry. It has a low battery indicator. So it'd be kind of difficult to do an actual reading of it. You'd have to do a little bit of custom code. But it does have a serial digital output for it right here. The LBO pin lets you do that. It'll notify you when the voltage is dropped below 3.2 volts. But an easier way to do it is that there's already a low pin, this one right here, the red LED that's next to the battery JST port. It'll actually start glowing red when it dips below 3.2 volts. So what you could do is you could wire an extra LED to break that out and mount it to the front of the enclosure. So we might actually start doing that in some future projects so that we can know when there's a low battery, basically.
Yep.
So yeah, there you go. Check that out. It's that'd probably be the easiest way to do it. It is sort of rather difficult with the LB pin, but it is possible. Okay.
And check out the learning guide on the Power Boost 1000C,
course.
500C for all the details on how to hook that up.
There you go. All right, well, thank you for that question, Robert. Let's move on to the next one. This one didn't give a name, but Mr. Unknown. This looks great. The only thing that is missing is sound. Have you given any thoughts on an audio upgrade? Yep, we have always thought about audio. It's always a little bit, there's always room, real estate. It's all about what you want to do, how do you want to expand it. But I would start checking out this one. This is a Class D amplifier, the TPA 2016. It actually has an ability to add a potentiometer so you can adjust the volume gain. So if you get some of those hisses and things like that, you will be able to adjust the volume. And it's also stereo, so you get 2 speakers as opposed to 1. A little bit more monies, but it's definitely worth it, than the PAM 8302. So I would check out this one, and yeah, you can have, like I was saying, adjustable audio gain. So there you go. That's what we would probably do. It makes sense for game consoles, but not tablets. So that's what we're thinking. Okay, next question. This one is from Sam on the Super Game Pi. Can this be done with a Raspberry Pi 2 Model B in a custom case, but with the same electronics and wiring inside? Yep, it totally can. We picked the Raspberry A Plus just because it was a little bit thinner and it made the overall project smaller. But if you check out the guide on the Ada for Learning system, we have a link to the CAD, the original CAD. You can download that and modify it to your heart's content. Yep. There's, I think there's some room in there. You'd have to adjust some things, but let's say if you, instead of having the joystick, you can have a D-pad, and that would greatly reduce the real estate because you have to have the extra driver board for the joystick. So if you were to use a D-pad, like a lot of people like using the D-pad, you'd be able to fit the Raspberry Pi 2 in there and make the cutouts for the USB ports and the Ethernet. But yeah, you have the 123x files can be exported out as a SAT or a STEP file and imported into whatever CAD you want if it lets you import it. So they're all there. There's a joystick version, the non-joystick version, and the one with the Pi Plus. Oh look, I already did one with the Pi Plus. Huh, I forgot. So you would just export out the 2 cases or 3 pieces or whatever it is in there from the 123x file. And of course, it's a free app, 123D. So check that out. Yeah, it's already there. I forgot I did that. There you go.
Too many projects.
Too many projects I forgot, man. Yep. Okay, thank you, Sam, for that question. I think that is all of the questions. Yep, it is. All right, well, that's going to be it for the Q&A and for the show. So
remember, you can leave questions on any of the videos or even on the learning guide. There's a feedback section on there. We look through those, and we'll answer them in a future episode.
Oh, I almost forgot the last segment. Community Makes. This week, we want to check out Mr. Rick Finchthorn. Check out Rick's contribution to one of our projects. This is his Thingiverse page. He's made quite a few different projects, but
most recently he remixed the little Libretto Raspberry Pi Mini handheld notebook.
Yep.
Some very cool updates that he added was some grills, like some little latches, accessibility door to get to the mini SD or the micro SD card and the battery. Very cool. So this is what we like seeing when you guys take our base model and go ahead and modify it. Add things like he even added like a little slot for the pen, so you can.
What pen? He made a pen, huh?
Yeah, made a little pen. He made a little stylus port slot there. He actually edited so you can accept both of the Pi TFT models that we have in the store. So very awesome. Very glad that you're able to, sort of upgrade it since we only have like a week and a half to work on these projects. Really good to see somebody take the torch, run with that, and modify it and make it better.
Wow, this is really cool. Yeah, shout out to you, Rick. Thank you so much for sharing your upgrades to this project. Really cool one. Yeah, I like it. And somebody's already made one too. We got to make. Cool. So
very awesome.
There you go. That is this week's Community Make. Thank you again, Rick. You will be awarded a shiny badge and sticker. All right. Well, that's going to be it for the show, folks. Thank you so much for watching. Let's leave you off with some links. Of course, a lot of guides, not just our guides, from all the makers here at Adafruit. You can find all of them and more at learn.adafruit.com. Okay. 3D Thursday is, of course, every Thursday.
That's right. We have a ton of blog posts every hour on Thursday. Definitely check all of those out.
Sharing the community projects. And then if you can follow myself and Pedro and Adafruit on the social networks for some behind-the-scenes stuff and some other extras.
That's right. Find out what we're doing for the next upcoming weeks on there.
There you go. The lineup of shows starts up on Wednesday at 2 p.m. You got Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern. Be sure to check out her show. After that, in the evening, we have the Show and Tell, where you can come on the Google Hangout. It's at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and hang out with Lamar, Phil, myself, Tony, and other folks. Come and say hi. Show us your retro gear projects, maker spaces, whatever. It's all cool. And then shortly after, at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, Ask an Engineer, 1 hour of Lamar and Phil, Raspberry Pi, open source, Arduino, and more.
Yep.
New products.
And secret projects they're working on.
Yep. And the Desk of Lady Ada is still happening. It is on Periscope, so check that out. There will be links and stuff. Don't forget about the coupon code.
Print QA gets you 10% off of everything in the shop except software and gift certificates.
That's right. You can get some free stuff. Adafruit.com/free.
That's right.
To check out all the deals and details there. Again, we want to warn you, holidays are coming, so that means it's going to be tough to ship stuff out after December 11th.
Not only that, if you are eyeing some gear, definitely go ahead.
Stuff's going to get shipped out of stock, huh? Really quick.
Every year, we're completely out of stock on almost everything, so order now.
Fair warning.
If you want to make sure that you can get your
stuff.
Get your stuff on time.
Okay, well, that's it for this week, folks. Thank you guys so much for watching. I've been Noel Ruiz, designer here at Adafruit.
Pedro Ruiz, Crave Tech.
All right, folks, and don't forget to keep on making. We'll see you guys next week. All right, bye, everybody.
See ya.